Hi guys, I'm Saba and today I have for you an incredible game. Let me tell you something, this game was nuts, totally crazy, so let's see what happened. First of all, I'm playing as white. I played d4, my opponent played c5, the Sicilian defense. And I played knight c3. Now, if you know me, I usually play the Alpi, knight c3 and d4, but recently I changed with the open one. I decided to play the close one because this Sunday I had a tournament and let's say 9 people out of 10 played the Sicilian defense. I figured that with the open Sicilian I suck. So during the tournament I said listen, what if I play the close one? I used to play the close Sicilian a while ago. And let's see what happened, because if I play the open one I lose. I played the close one and I had good results without knowing theory. So let me tell you something. I'm going to play the close one and I'm going to start it. So a6. a6 is an answer. The idea with the closed Sicilian is that, usually, let's say they play knight on f6, you would like to play bishop on b5 and play the bishop for the knight. They usually are going to take with this pawn, makes sense because you want to play for d5, and after that you're going to play d3, f4, knight on f3, you castle short, and you're basically saying, well, my bishop would have been terrible anyway, would have been blocked by all of these pawns, so I'm just going to play it, which makes sense. Now obviously it changes depending on what they play. If they play this, you should play something different. If they play this, is the same. If they play this, there is bishop b5 as a punish. But if they play a6, which is a sideline, you cannot do that. Okay, you do at this point. Well, at this point you can still go for a similar setup, but you probably won't give the bishop for the knight. So you might want to play, instead of that, bishop g3 and bishop on g2. Since it's going to weaken all of this diagonal pushing the pawn, even a bishop on g2 is going to be pretty strong. So at this point I decided to play g3, which is, a really traditional close Sicilian instead of playing f4 and doing crazy stuff. Okay, and he decided to play b5, and obviously I played bishop on g2. Which makes sense. I'm going to play it in the future. Probably I want to play knight on e2 first, and then I'm going to castle, and life is good, He decided to play bishop on b7. At this point, I decided to play knight on g2 e2. And he replied with e6. e6 with the idea that he not only wants to develop the bishop, but he would also like to play d5. Now, can you play d5 now? You can definitely play d5 now, but I decided to play d4. Now, d4 does make a lot of sense in my opinion. Like, it's good at a cool castle, and d5 is not like so threatening. But if I play d4, I'm going to open the line for my bishop. If you take my knight, it's going to be really strong. And also I'm basically saying, okay, you want to push all the pawns, I'm going to weaken your control in the center, otherwise I give my opponent too much, in my opinion. So after this, he played queen on b6, and as you can see, he's already going kind of wrong. Queen on b6 doesn't make a ton of sense. I can play bishop on e3 now or in the future, and yeah, this move is not scary at all. If nothing does give me a target in the future, I might even play until like knight on e4. I mean, right now I can't, but you never know. So I played bishop on e3, putting, some pressure on the c5 pawn. Right now I cannot take it, obviously, because bishop can take, but it is still a good pressure. Now knight on c6 is a good move. What can I do? A cool castle, I could play d5, I decided to go for d5. Now d5 instead of this, obviously, because otherwise I just get in with the knight, my position is close to be lost, probably. I mean, my position gets pretty terrible. Oh, and also I blundered the bishop, yeah. That's another reason of why you shouldn't play this. So yeah, I decided to play d5. d5 does make sense. I might want to open everything, but also now this pawn is pinned. Before it wasn't. Yeah, I think this move just makes sense. I'm also blocking the bishop diagonal. I might want to go for f4 in the future. So yeah, seems sensible to me. And he decided to play e5. What can I do now? I mean, castling looks like really logical, because now this is the target, so I can castle and play f4. So obviously I decided to play f4 first. I thought I castled, to be honest. f4 first, I mean, obviously it's playable. But you know, just castle and then play f4. Yeah, I was really aggressive that day, which is yesterday, by the way. Was really aggressive yesterday. And yeah, he played bishop on d6. As you can see, this position is stupid. Like, I know for a fact that I'm already much better, but I have to understand why. Much better, but it's not that easy. Although obviously if I castle, or let's say if I maneuver the knight to put pressure on this pawn, I could even play before. So I definitely have ideas. I decided to play before. Apparently before is wrong because you allow knight on g4. I should have played knight on c1 with this idea. You still allow knight on g4. Oh, you don't allow knight on g4. That's why. Okay. But I thought knight on g4 wasn't a problem. I obviously saw it, but I thought, okay, so what? You play knight on g4, so what? I have crazy pressure on the c5 pawn. What do you do now? So he played the knight on... Okay, he decided to take first. Just missing everything. Okay, he decided to take first. Which is not clever, because I'm threatening to play this. It was kind of pointless to take. Like, if I take, you're really fine. But if you take... You just allow me to, you know, go for a pawn avalanche. It's not the best thing ever. You attack the bishop, I bring the bishop back. It's close to +2. And my pieces are stupid, so... Why is this... I mean, more than +2. Probably +3 with a better stockfish. This stockfish is kinda stupid. It's because... I'm threatening this. Crazy control in the center. If I move the knight, this knight is under attack and I can bring the king towards the king's side. And also you have a good pressure on the pawn. So an idea now could be to play actually knight on c1, attacking the knight has to move, and then knight on b3 or knight on d3. So really interesting plan. He decided to play f6 and now knight on c1. Knight on c1 I think was a pretty clever move. By the way, this pawn is hanging, but also the knight. So you have to move the knight or defend it. And defending it was much better, probably. Well, apparently it says f5, but no one is going to play f5 allowing this. I thought h5. Yeah, h5 is still better than bringing the knight back, at least. In this case, the knight doesn't make any sense. And now, obviously, knight on d3. We are going to win this pawn. There isn't a way to defend it now. Two defenders, 3 attackers, and you cannot add another defender. If you push, obviously, you lose the queen. And the knight is defending everything. A crazy good knight. I'm also threatening to play this. So, yeah, pretty good. So I can take and then queen on h5. If you push, you lose the knight. I decided to take. Bishop goes back. Queen on h5. You cannot push. You can block with the knight though. Which honestly, during the game I missed. I was like, well, it's going to lose the right to castle. No, it's not. Just bring the knight back. But my queen is stupidly strong now, so yeah, it does make a ton of sense indeed. What I should do now is castle long, but looks a bit stupid. Who's going to castle long under all of this, you know? Me! So I decided to castle long, because, okay, this looks scary, but in reality it's not. You can play bishop on b5, just move the knight and say, so what, you're stupid? If you play b4, which apparently is a move, I'm just going to take it. Am I? And then defend the knight, because if I move it, you win this? Kinda makes sense. Yeah, probably I'm going to take it. I mean, what else am I supposed to do? What if I take it? What if I take it, stupid stockfish? Oh, okay. I just missed the whole idea. But yeah, I'm just going back and be safe. It's +6. So yeah, I kind of evaluated this correctly. Let's call this an evaluation. Not praying that I'm not going to lose if I castle long. So, castling long, bishop on a5, attacking the knight, I move the knight, GG. What can you do now? I'm threatening to push this, I'm threatening to push this. I'm threatening to play bishop on d4 and push this, like this is over. Okay, and now you might want to castle, but it's completely over. I have all the space in the world, and as you can see, having all the space in the world does make a ton of sense. I'm also up a pawn, and yeah, now it's really scary for you. So I decided to push. Makes sense. I don't want to lose. I want to be aggressive now. I don't want to give my opponent any time to do something stupid and win the game. By the way, I'm threatening this and win the bishop. He decided to play g6, attacking the queen, sensible move. And now queen on h4. Queen on h4 if you take with late queens. I decided to go for an endgame because he's crazy winning. Nothing else to say. If I manage to lose this endgame, I'm the best player in the world. I mean, yeah, this also loses a bishop. But even if he didn't, this was crazy winning. Impossible to lose, to be fair. Yeah, but let's say you take this one. Oh, because I still have this. Okay, but let's say I take this. He's still completely winning. Yeah, exactly. +7 and the best. So, going back, this didn't happen. My opponent decided to castle. What to do now? If I play d6, I win a piece. Although I have to be careful because I give my opponent something. Now, in this position, you might be able to blunder checkmate in a few moves. So you need to calculate stuff, you need to be careful. I saw that if I play d6, I win a piece and I don't lose the game. So I was pretty happy with this move. I take the full piece, you take the pawn. I'm on the verge of getting mated. If you play queen on a1, I get mated. So my reasoning behind the next move was just, if he plays queen on a1, I get mated, so he's not going to play it. Bishop on d4 covers a1. You can give me this check, which does absolutely nothing. I just bring the bishop back. If it does something, it tells me. I'm just blocking everything. So yeah, bishop on d4 defends everything. I want a full piece. Decided to take. Obviously, we can take it. Apparently, with the knight was better. Okay. Attacks the bishop. Bishop goes back. Super easy stuff. Attacks my bishop. Bishop, take the knight. Because I'm up a ton of material. Knights are tricky. This knight was going to attack me pretty soon. I just snap it. I don't have to worry about it. My bishop is still completely fine. They're not going to lose in any possible way. What to do now? Now it's time to play rook on g1. No, rook on g1 had an idea. No, rook on g1 had an idea. A pretty clever one, if I could say. And the idea is that, let's say you give me time to do something. Let's say, I don't know, like I'm just thinking about a stupid move, a really stupid move. Let's say this, really stupid move. I'm going to play king on d1 with the idea that if you give me a check, I'm going to block with this knight, and after the block with this knight, I can run on this side. So it was just a strategy to, you know, put my king into safety, just not to be worried about anything. He played before, which is sensible. I mean, you play before because you want to play to win in a completely lost position, so you have to play such a move, I would say. So yeah, makes sense before. I just bring the bishop back. An incredible defensive move, I would say. And not because I'm just preventing sun check and everything, but it's because if you play this, now this bishop left the control of this rank, so I can play the incredible queen on c4. And this is a top defense, guys. This is a crazy good defense. I defended everything. If you take, you lose the queen. There is nothing you can do now. I'm threatening to win the pawn. What can you do? You can defend the pawn. Makes sense. But now that I have this diagonal, I don't have to defend. Because if you can, the best defense is the attack. e6. Rook moves. On the verge of getting mated. I'm on the verge of getting mated. I have to be pretty careful, even though you still cannot take. I take. The king moves. And now we can play another incredible move, I would say. We are on the verge of getting mated. We need to play at the moves. We need to go for the win now, because we have a ton of material and we can definitely do that. Queen on d4. What is the idea of queen on d4? You take my pawn, you get mated. Oh, with this one. Yeah, let's go. I played this, and now king take, which is obviously checkmate. And at this point, I saw the checkmate. I saw all the checkmate sequence. So at this point, I started calculating. And I was like, this is the coolest checkmate ever. Because I can give a check, he has to go back, and I keep giving checks till he goes back. Like, I keep cutting squares away till he reach this square. I have a queen there, and he get mated because he cannot go anywhere. I'm just covering everything. What happened is that I follow this line. Play this. This. It's beautiful, isn't it? Crazy, isn't it? At this point, I like... this is not checkmate. This is not checkmate. Because queen on e8. You block with the bishop. But I was like... got lucky, man, but... I think I have something better now than that stupid mate, you know? Now we have a really cool mate. You block with the bishop. Queen take. Rook block. What if we take the rook? We win a ton of material, that's it. In this position, we uncork one of the most beautiful checkmate ever. The checkmate that everyone loves, because, I mean, it's so cool, to be fair. Pawn on d7, checkmate. The king cannot go anywhere. He's blocked by his own pieces. The rook can't take my queen because obviously it's check. And you can't take the pawn because you are pinned. So, yeah, this was the game. This game was totally crazy. Like, there wasn't really back and forth. I just dominated the game because I defended well. But, I mean, it was really cool. A really cool attacking and aggressive game from both sides. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. So if you like this game, guys, please leave a like and subscribe. And see you soon with the next video.